The purpose and standard of education.
According to the standard of education and morality, we should live for the purpose of the whole rather than that of the individual. Since we should live for the whole rather than for the self, people must live for the public good. When brothers fight in a family, whom do the parents side with? No parent will side with the one who hit first, fighting for his own selfish purpose. The standard of education and morality throughout history has been based on being good. This is the age of ideological warfare between mind and body, between spiritual values and materialistic values. Whose ideas are superior? That's the point. History has been the process of restoring and recreating man whom God lost. God is thinking, if people want to strive for material success, well, let them. They will ultimately serve as negative examples of what not to do. Go ahead, give it a shot. That's how God feels. Whoever is so cocksure of their intellectual prowess should just proceed and see where it's going to lead them. In the end, their story will simply furnish yet more education material for God to raise His true sons and daughters. We should produce an instruction manual in becoming God's true sons and daughters. I was often very lonely in prison. I cannot forget those who visited me in such a miserable plight. I might forget about my family members or relatives, but never those who sought me because of the bonds of true love. I dare say that enemies aren't always that bad. I used my experiences to learn the most precious lessons from even the worst possible circumstances. I would want to visit any of our members in the army or in prison, and even if I couldn't, you should leave such a legacy behind. In that way, you can teach people how to be a living example and textbook. The last words of those who can bequeath such a legacy to their descendants are, "You should be like me." No one likes prison life, but it can teach you to appreciate the little things more. Prison is the best place for you to learn to appreciate the little things in life. That is the best education. I'm telling you that it is not an entirely terrible thing to be in prison. If I talk about it, I will never stop. Even a single fly can be the object of your love. If you could speak, I would send greetings to my hometown. You could make friends with even a fly. Nobody likes flies, but they can become your bosom friends in prison. Prison is the only place where you can receive such precious education. My point is that going to prison wasn't just a negative experience I had in my life. I think that young people should undergo some special training by spending some time in prison as part of their education program for about a year and a half. If ever I became the education minister or had the opportunity to govern a nation as I wished, that is what I would want to do. I really mean that. Even if you don't actually spend time in prison, you should at least go through a training period similar to that. That is the unificationist style of education and training. Centering on Adam and Eve, there should be education materials for children on parental, conjugal, fraternal and filial relationships, and on how to raise families, clans and tribes. Centering on the family foundation, everything from the formation stage, through the growth stage, all the way up to the completion stage will be perfected. Now, Reverend Moon's educational material on the ideal family in heaven and on earth can be made available to be included among the resources of the White House Library or those of any other library of the world.